So, have we all just forgotten fun as an audience? I understand. Truly, as someone who watches a lot of these movies, I get superhero fatigue. Or at least that's what Hollywood likes to call it. I just call it shitty movies. And with all of the online discourse surrounding Warner Brothers' first entry into the gun DCU with Blue Beetle, you wouldn't be hard pressed into thinking that Blue Beetle falls into that shitty movie category, which it definitely does not. And I wouldn't even be convincing myself to say that Blue Beetle was the second best superhero movie I've seen all year. Shout out to Miles Morales, honorary mention to the Guardians, and patent pending and on hold for my girl Plank. The point is, Blue Beetle was a refreshingly focused, action packed, vibrant, family oriented, and most importantly, fun take on an origin story of a C-list character that I'm sure the majority of people have never even heard about. We're talking true bottom of the Walmart bin type of character when it comes to the casual majority, and somehow managed to make the character one of the most relatable, grounded, and now recognizable superheroes post Endgame. And yes, you did hear that right. I'm looking at you, Shang-Chi, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Photon Marvel, Moon Knight, and fuck it. Throw in the entirety of the cast of the Eternals in there. Where the fuck are those guys? And with the added element of the incredibly character focused and charming casting choices that we'll get into later, as well as the added karate background of lead actor and Cobra Kai acclaimed Jolo Maridueña to usher in the added tension and self ability to helm some of the better grounded choreographed fight sequences that we've seen since Shang-Chi, it led Blue Beetle to actually be an immersive and engaging watch throughout the entirety of the film. And while that's not to say that the movie doesn't come without its flaws, that pretty much leads into a perfect segue of what this movie is even about. So let's get into the plot. The movie kicks off with the origins of the Beetle itself. Not like the actual origins, but just how Villain Lady acquires the Beetle. But we'll get back into that. Anyway, meet Mexican legend Jaime Reyes, first college graduate from an extremely close and charming Reyes family who has to face some hard truths when returning home to the realization of some of his family's misfortunes. Desperate to help his family, Jaime gets a job with the help of his sister Millie cleaning the house of, actually, maybe I should say mansion, or estate. I feel like house doesn't really do it justice. Of Victoria Cord, the current co-CEO of Cord Industries. After a mistimed shit led the pair to lose their jobs, yes, you did hear that right. Jaime is recruited by Jenny Cord, the other co-CEO of Cord Industries, who just also happens to be hot as fuck and around the same age as our protagonist. Huh. What a coincidence. After a non-interview gone wrong with Jenny, leading Jaime to now have possession of the Beetle, much like the origins of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, Jaime's life is now turned upside down when chosen by the Beetle and attaches itself onto Jaime's spine, granting him unbelievably vague, but also Green Lantern-like abilities where it seems like creativity is your best and also worst ally. As Jaime learns more about his newfound abilities and forming a symbiotic relationship with Kaiji, the name of the Beetle itself, the origin story shifts to a game of cat and mouse and a race against time as Jaime struggles to protect his family against the forces of Victoria Ford and number one henchman that we'll just call Red Beetle, who, of course, want to harness the power of the Beetle to create Omnics, basically one-man army Blue Beetle killing machines, cause what else would the motivation be for a generic lady villain? After a touching heart-to-heart with his father, Jaime comes to the peace and realization of the destiny that's been placed upon him. But will that grant him the power to save his family? Will Jaime Reyes grow and be able to fill the shoes as the hero that Palmera City needs? And most importantly, does he get the girl? Again, Blue Beetle is good. Not mid, not bad, not spectacular, just good. And I'm not really understanding the discourse of people that are saying otherwise. So with that being said, let's rapid fire the pros. Alright, so Jolo Maridueña is definitely a future star in this industry. Or at least I would like him to be. He has all of the charm and charisma that Hollywood likes to tell you that Tom Holland has for some reason. And with all of the physical skills and the background to stay on par with Tom Holland, I can't really see how a young star isn't blossoming before our very eyes. I've mentioned on numerous times how family oriented and character driven the film was, and words can't really describe how charming and spot on the casting really was. George Lopez, while being comedic relief, puts on a performance that I haven't seen in quite a while. And while that could be mostly because I don't really know what he has going on, two things can be right at the same time. And while I've been hearing the phrase that this film is too stereotypically Mexican, I mean, I don't know. Tell me that you don't have any Mexican or Latino friends without actually telling me. The culture and family dynamic is pretty spot on here from what I've witnessed in my personal life, and it leads to actually creating a genuine attachment to the family and the characters as a whole, compared to, say, the manufactured and implemented attachment of, say, Aunt Daughter and Ant Man Quantumania, where you know that you should care because she's Scott's daughter, and you care about Scott, but you don't really care about Aunt Daughter. But as I said, this movie doesn't really come without its flaws. So let's talk the cons. So this isn't really a personal indictment on Blue Beetle to say a general complaint on the superhero genre as a whole, because we must be in an epidemic writing wise. Well, duh. But ever since Iron Man 1, yes, that far back, the cliche of the villain possessing the same exact powers as the hero needs to be banned to the Shadow Realm and damn near abolished to the Sunken Place. Because my god, it always leads to the most boring third acts possible and lacks any type of creativity and stakes. Prime example is Wonder Woman. What is an otherwise fantastic and pretty much flawless movie was ruined by an otherwise unnecessary and barely visible CGI battle that undermined the lesson that was learned by Diana in the first place. And while I don't think that's really a complaint that's going to be heard or solved anytime soon, that was pretty much the only real concern that I had with the movie Blue Beetle as a whole. Oh, actually, Jenny Cord was pretty bad at acting. I mean, she kind of got better throughout the movie, but god, those earlier scenes were pretty hard to watch. At the end of the day, Blue Beetle was a fun, action packed, and family oriented origin story that leaves me excited for where the character can go in the future. I see the vision that James Gunn now had when he confirmed Blue Beetle to be the first character introduced into his Gunn universe. And once we get Khal Drogo and the fishies over with, Blue Beetle only heightened my expectations for the future of the DCU, even if only a little. Of course, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. As always, comment down below how you guys felt about Blue Beetle, and fuck it, did it also heighten your excitement for what could, maybe, possibly, be a good DCU? Man, I just jinxed it, didn't I? Again, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, but otherwise, that's all the words I got for you today. Bye.